Like, what have I been doing? I'll tell you. I went book shopping. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy. I hope you're all doing really well. I am going to be doing a 24-hour read-along, readathon, whatever those are called, because I am in the middle of several books right now in classic Andy fashion. And so I'm trying to encourage myself to actually finish literally any of the books that I'm in the middle of and that I've started. So I'm currently reading 4 or 5 books. I'm looking down here because this is where I've got my Goodreads pulled up because you guys are on my phone and I can't look anything up on it. So the first book that I am smack dab in the middle of is Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Maniscalco. And this is a fun little fantasy romance. It's about this girl, Amelia, and someone very close to her is brutally murdered. And so she is on this path for vengeance to try and figure out who done it. And along the way, she meets I think he's like a prince of the underworld, Wrath. For reasons, they are working together to find the murderer. I'm really liking it so far. It is fun. It feels right now pretty low stakes. It's got some like witchy demon vibes. So if you're into that, it's a good time so far. I'm not like obsessed with their romance. It's definitely an enemies to lovers or like hate to love kind of trope. And it's fine, but I'm only about like 49 or 50% in. So I'm hoping I feel a little more invested in their romance at some point. The other book that I'm about also 50% in is Nettle and Bone by Kingfisher, I think. This book is about Mara, who is a princess slash nun who is on a quest to save her sister from her horrible, abusive husband. And on this quest, so far she's met this kind of grumpy witch, I guess, who's entertaining. We've stumbled upon this very charming knight character. And by far, my favorite little character is the bone dog sidekick. It's been a few days since I've read that, so I'm a little like, it's a little less fresh in my mind, my immediate thoughts. But I'm also enjoying it, but not loving it by any means, which is why I think I've picked up so many books in between. The other book that I'm maybe 10% into is The Lies of Locke Lamora by Lynch. This is giving me found family thieving vibes. I'm noticing already that the timeline is kind of jumping back and forth, and it's a little bit hard to tell when we are in this storyline, but I'm enjoying the humor. The audiobook narrator is excellent, which I always really appreciate. It's good. It's just a bit of a chonker for me. And it's been a while since I've read just straight up high fantasy. So I feel like my brain is having a hard time kind of warming up to just like the length of those books. I don't know of the magic system yet, so I'm curious to find out more about that. Another book that just became available on my Libby app is You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Akwaeke Emezi. I think that's how you pronounce their name. And I don't know much about this book. I'm kind of going into it blind. I think it's about a woman who, after her husband dies, is exploring relationships as she moves on. I'm not 100% sure, but I love the cover, and so it really piqued my interest, and I've seen it kind of pop up here and there on booktube and book talk, so I was very intrigued by it and I wanted to pick it up. The last book that I've been listening to on my Hoopla app is Grip by Kennedy Ryan. I read the prequel Flow sort of recently, and it's about Bristol and Grip and their relationship over time. It's great. I think I'm about maybe 25% into Grip. Yeah, if I can finish just one of these books would be great. And if I can finish more than one, that would be even better. I have all of these books on audio, which we love because I have a few errands to run and things that I want to do around my place. I love that I'll be able to multitask for a lot of that. So it is Saturday morning around 9 right now. I'm gonna listen to something while I don't know, water my plants and mosey around my place. I will check in with you when I have read anything. Okay guys, I did a thing. Instead of reading, which I've done almost none of so far, and it is already 11:30. Like, what have I been doing? I'll tell you. I went book shopping. I did, and I'm thrilled about it. Here's what I do when I go book shopping. When I'm reading a book for the first time, I'm either listening it to the audiobook or I'm reading it on my Kindle. And so I do tend to only buy books that I have loved because I want the physical copy to either reread or be able to lend out to people. Oh, you can see in my mirror, this is my fan Flo. We love her. She's been helping me stay cool on these 100-degree days. I love her, but I didn't intend for her to be here, but there she is. Anyways, okay, to the books. The first book that I bought was The Fastest Way to Fall by Denise Williams, and I love this book. It is about Wes and Britta and their beautiful relationship. They meet because Britta she's a reporter or an aspiring writer, and for her work, she gets a job to blog her experience with a fitness app that Wes is the owner of. And so they kind of meet, not really realizing who each other is, and, romance blossoms. I loved this. I thought it was so good. I thought the larger body rep was really well done. This book has a lot of body positivity, and it has some hints of intuitive eating and anti-diet culture stuff throughout, which I loved. I was giggling and swooning basically from page 1. So I cannot recommend this enough. It is so good. I had to buy myself a physical copy because I'm absolutely going to be reading this again and again. But again, one of my favorites so far from this year. So I bought this. The next book that I bought, it is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. And this book very much gave me Heart of Dixie vibes, if you've seen that show. It's a small town setting where this woman, Alexis, kind of stumbles into and meets Daniel. She's a fancy doctor and he's like a lowly countryman. He owns an inn in the town. I loved this so much. I loved the writing. I loved their chemistry so much. I will say the reasons why they can't be together did drive me a little bit crazy, because I'm just like, girl, Alexis, you are a grown-ass woman with more than enough resources to do whatever you want to do with your life. But it did not detract from my absolute love of this book, and I need everyone to read it. It's so good. So this is another book that I've already read. This is Daughter of the Forest by Juliette Barillier, and this I do think is some kind of fairy tale retelling, although I'm not totally sure which one. But this is about Sorsha and her quest to save all of her brothers. A curse gets put on her where she literally cannot speak or communicate verbally or non-verbally about what the curse is and what her quest is, what she's trying to do. She goes through so many heartbreaking trials and tribulations, but she's incredibly resilient and resourceful and just a really, really likable main character. I loved this. I thought it was so good. Everyone should read this. Now, the two books that I bought that I have not read yet. One is Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. I am not a huge classics reader by any means, but I feel like this is a good one where I can kind of dip my toes in. My sister and another booktuber that I really like have raved about this, so I figure I could give it a try. It's not very long. That makes me feel a little more confident that I'll be able to digest this. I literally have no idea what it is, but I will eventually read it. Hopefully, anyways. And then the last book that I bought was Memphis by Tara Stringfellow. I think it's just about like this family and their lives, everyone's relationship to everyone. My grandma actually read this for one of her book clubs and was really enjoying it. And I've just like, the cover is beautiful. I've seen it around town. So I'm really excited to have this, and it's so pretty. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm thrilled. I live in a very, very teeny tiny apartment. It's like 400 square feet. So like, where is my growing book collection going to go? I honestly don't know, but I'm excited that it is slowly but surely growing and expanding, and it's really becoming a reflection of some of my favorite authors and favorite books. Eventually, maybe I'll do like a bookshelf tour kind of thing, but I don't have like one established, beautiful bookshelf. I kind of put my books where I can around my place. Anyways, yeah, I've done no reading so far today, but I did buy books. So that's a thing that happened. So here's what we're gonna do. Andy, you are going to read, first of all, and I'm thinking that I need to eat something because I'm quite hungry. So I'm gonna eat some brunch situation, and then I think I'm gonna put on an audiobook while I reorganize my kitchen, because why not? It's Saturday, it's too hot to go outside. That's my plan. And just like that, voila, we have brunch. This looks tasty. I'm gonna dig in and read. All right, first of all, I have a reading update. I am about 90% done with Kingdom of the Wicked, and it is about 2:30 just about, so snaps for me. Things have gone awry for poor Amelia. I mean, there's been a lot of twists and turns, which has been fun. And yeah, I'm like right at the climax of the plot. So it's a interesting spot for me to pause at. But I have finished reorganizing my kitchen. That took much longer than I was expecting. I'm schwitzing a little bit. My girl Flo over there was helping me stay cool, but it is still very warm. Now that that is done, I'll probably do like a final wipe down, finish Kingdom of the Wicked, and then I might, even though I think it is quite warm, like 95 plus right now, I think I might try to go on a little jaunty stroll, maybe go to the gym. I'm not sure. We'll see where the rest of the afternoon takes us, but we are definitely going to continue my momentum of reading / listening to my audiobook. And while I'm already a little bit sweaty, I might as well keep the movement going. But I will check in with you guys at the next reading update, which will probably be when I finish Kingdom of the Wicked. I have finished Kingdom of the Wicked, and it was so fun. The twist at the end, I did not see coming. I was shooketh. I think if you are in the mood for something witchy and very, very plot heavy, this is an excellent one to pick up. There are a million twists throughout this book, and it made it really fun and quick to read. I do think I wish there was a little more character development throughout the story. I felt like every character was kind of one note. I didn't feel like there was a ton of character growth, but I enjoyed the heck out of reading this, and I thought it was really entertaining. I would totally recommend it, and I think I'll eventually continue on in this series. I'm gonna sit on my final thoughts for a little bit longer. The final thoughts will definitely be on Goodreads, but I'm thinking on a 3.5, maybe 4 stars. TBD. It was a ride, so that was great. I think next I'm gonna probably jump back into Nettle and Bone, because I think I'm about 50% in. So why not? That sounds like a good next step. So I'm gonna listen to that or read that for a little bit, boop around with the rest of the afternoon. It's about 4:30 right now. So I still have a good amount of time left in the afternoon and evening to read. I can't remember if I said this or not, but tomorrow we're moving in my sister into her new apartment. And so I might venture back out to get them a housewarming gift of some kind, but we'll see if I muster the strength to venture back out into this heat, because if you can't tell, I'm hot. It was hot walking outside. It was hot running outside. It was hot grocery shopping outside. I'm hot. And to film these, I have to turn off Flo because otherwise she's too loud. So let me stop jabbing, jibber jabbering, jibber. Let me stop chatting and turn my air conditioning fan thing back on, get to reading, and I will check in with you guys at the next reading update. It has been a few hours, I think, since I last checked in. I'm about to eat dinner because I'm starving. I got distracted. I started doing other things. I even forgot that I was doing this 24-hour readathon. Whoops, it is what it is. I read a little bit more in Nettle and Bone. I think I'm like 65% in, and I'm liking it. It's not blowing me away at all, but it's fun. I like the characters. It's magical. Yeah, I don't really know where the plot is going, but I'm kind of okay with that. So that's my only update right now. See you at the next reading update. All right, it is about 11:30, 11:50-ish. I honestly don't know what time it is. I don't have my Apple Watch on and I'm lost without it. I haven't read quite as much as I was hoping I would today, but all hope is not lost. I'm about 70% into Nettle and Bone. We've picked up another character for this quest, and yeah, I think things are kind of like about to go down. So I figured I would do one last check-in before tomorrow morning. It's getting late. I'm a little tired, but I am hoping to read a little bit more tonight, maybe a little bit in the morning. We shall see. For now, though, good night, and I will check in with you in the morning. Night. Hi, guys. I made a complete rookie mistake, and I forgot to film any kind of outro or conclusion to this little video vlog situation. So I'm gonna wrap up what I read on Saturday. It is a few days later because editing Andy realized, whoops, I forgot to close this out. So I did end up finishing Nettle and Bone. It was okay. It was perfectly fine. I think if you're looking for a really whimsical, atmospheric, magical fantasy story with a great cast of characters, this is a really fun one to read. I think if you're going into this hoping for some of those horror vibes that's tagged as one of the genres for this book, I think you're going to be pretty disappointed. I didn't even really realize that it was supposed to be like a dark fairy tale. It felt very lighthearted and humorous and whimsical. There is some heavier content and themes, but while they're on this quest, it feels very silly. It doesn't feel dark at all. So I would not go into that expecting it. And I think I just wish there was more of this book. I feel like I wanted there to be more plot, more character development, just more. I felt like there were so many scenes that felt kind of rushed, or things were resolved in 2 seconds, whether it was convenience or we just kind of brushed through how something was resolved. You know, it was fine, but it wasn't the best standalone fantasy I've ever read. I'm not mad that I read it. Solid 3 stars. I did get a little bit further into The Lies of Locke Lamora, and I will say it is kind of a slow start. These first like 150, 200 pages or so have felt a little convoluted and have dragged on a little bit. Like, I do feel kind of confused about the like present timeline, but I think I'm hitting a corner where I'm starting to be really invested in this little like crew that we've got and where the book is going. But it is a slower start. So if you're thinking of picking that up, just keep that in mind that, you know, it takes a little while to get into it, I think. So anyways, that's my 24-hour readathon, long read with me, whatever you want to call it. I will say some lessons learned from this first one I'm filming is 1, you can't forget about the B-roll, which I often did. 2, don't forget that you're doing a readathon, because then you don't read as much as you probably could have. So that was an oopsie I made. And then I think the third thing is don't forget to close it out. I hope you all had fun. I enjoyed spending my Saturday doing this and reading, of course, and organizing my kitchen and doing all the things. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.